And we've come to the conclusion of the Metallica album reviews. If you are still with us, we applaud you. I don't know how you're able to withstand us for so long.
Especially me.
So after the Saint Anger tour, we waited so long for Death Magnetic. It felt like a millennia. I became a major diehard fan of Metallica in about 2004, but unfortunately it was too late to catch them live because they had already been done with their tour. And then when 2005 rolled around, they weren't doing anything. And then when 2006 rolled around, they were just doing, they were just doing festival shows out in Europe. And it wasn't really until like 2008 or so when they decided to do the Mission Metallica thing. And you remember that? Remember how we used to watch? Remember we would watch? We were watching that thing religiously. I was just like, oh my god, that riff's so cool. I hope they play that in the new album.
The Death Magnetic was like my first like metal release, whereas like this is a new metal album, which I will listen to in a new way.
Right. That's true. Yeah. And it's just like I remember, see when Saint Anger came out, it's like I wasn't a fan, so I wasn't waiting for him. But with Death Magnetic, it's like I was totally waiting for him. So then the wait finally comes over and we get Death Magnetic. And what do we get with Death Magnetic? The best thing they've written since And Justice for All. That's my opinion on it. I mean, what do you think?
It's really good.
It is fucking good. I mean, at the moment, it's my favorite Metallica album because I've already heard all the other ones 100 times. So this is the one that still is the newest to me. But it's got everything you want. It's great riffs, great songs. And it's just like, I hope it's a mainstay. It really redeemed Metallica's career, and I think really got them back to where they were back on the top of their game, as if they weren't on top before. So it opens up with "That Was Just Your Life," and I was just so amazed with that opening riff, which is this. Play it.
Acoustic guitar.
That is a big jam, and I loved how they opened it up. How they opened up live with it, in my opinion. And then the next one, End of the Line. It's like I thought, oh yeah, this is like a Creeping Death feel. It's like Rage Against the Machine goes into Creeping Death. Oh yeah, he's playing that one. And I just remember when they played it in Ontario, it was like James Hetfield like slid on his knees right in front of us and he tried to high five all of us. So remember that was always cool. And then Broken, Beaten, Scarred again.
We Die Hard.
It's just like, holy fuck! 3 amazing songs in a row. This is awesome.
What don't kill you makes you emotional.
Yeah, lyrically it's kind of weak because it's kind of repetitive, but but in that middle section when it speeds up, we're just like, yeah. Whatever. And then the single, the Day That Never Comes, which was the first single that came out. I remember about a month before Death Magnetic came out, they decided to release it, the single on radio. And I usually don't tune into K-Rock because they don't play Metallica, but they for some reason were able to play debut The Day That Never Comes on their station. So I actually did get in the car because I had to make a delivery for my older brother, and I had to go out to LA somewhere, but I hit a spot where K-Rock wasn't receiving well, and then the song was like in the middle of playing, so it's just like here's the debut of the song, and it's getting fast, and all of a sudden I'm hearing nothing but static, and I'm like, no, fuck, no, stop, no, go back to where the song was playing. So that so that was my first experience of it. And instantly it's like, oh yeah, they made another song like One, that's awesome. But, does it fare up against the other 3 classic power ballads? No, not even close. Lyric-wise...
It's kind of one of the weaker songs on the album for me. It's a good song, but compared to some of the others, like, That Was Just Your Life.
Right. No, That Was Just Your Life was the jam.
That was just my favorite song on the album. It's
yeah.
more like it.
But lyric-wise, I love it because it's just, like, I just remember, it spoke to me because it's like when I was, when people stopped bullying me, I was still mad at everybody. And it's just like I was waiting for the time to get back at them. And I just wanted revenge in my heart. But I knew I was but so I was like waiting for the right moment to strike again. It just never came because I just wasn't that type of a person to get revenge. So that's where that song speaks up to me. And then when All Nightmare Long came in, the first thing, well, not the first thing actually. When I first heard All Nightmare Long, I was blown away by it, especially the middle part when it speeds up, because this is like a thrash anthem. This song, I think, especially when it gets into the double bass, and then when Kirk does that solo. And it's interesting of note that when Metallica in 2006, was it 6 or 7, decided to play new songs or new jams or show off new riffs, that was the solo when it was called "Death Is Not the End." That was that solo that Kirk played. So so you see bits and pieces of that song placed in this one. And it was just interesting to hear that. But I was like, oh, fuck, yeah, this is a great song. I mean, you don't like All Nightmare Long?
All Nightmare Long is a jam. They I think good song.
Yeah, and I loved it when they played it live. Cyanide was another...
Hunt You Down Without Mercy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like lyrically... See, if you want a song about childhood nightmares, go with All Nightmare Long. Don't go with Sandman. Cyanide is
not as good as the rest of it. My problem with Cyanide is on Guitar Hero Metallica for Wii. I think that was one of the songs they gave you from Death Magnetic, and I got so sick of playing that song. I don't know.
Well, because the Wii sucked. It didn't give you downloadable content.
Let's just bash Nintendo.
I did like Cyanide. It's like I remember when they debuted it. I was like one of the first to download the live bootleg so I could hear it. And then Unforgiven 3.
That was the thing for our